Hey, good morning. It's about 9 on the 26th of November. Oh. 3? 5, 6. Anyways, this is about David Suzuki. I'd like to unapologize on behalf of David Suzuki. I'm not even sure if he did officially apologize. Like the media said something that there was an apology, but it's not an apology. It's just a correction about how stupid people want to interpret things, the ones you can't trust, and they can't prevent what he's talking about from happening. And, I saw David Suzuki in Ottawa in my 20s. He was invited by the Council of Canadians. I was impressed by his talk, and, from what I hear behind the scenes, he's even more direct, So he tries to be politically correct for his audience, but still he's done more for Canada and the biosphere, because it's not about us, it's not about you, than most other people living in Canada, including authors who've won awards or, the Order of Canada or whatever. So shame on you, politicians, or anybody else, for demanding an apology, because I heard his exact words. And he's not inciting things, he's just saying what's going to happen. I mean, if you listen to Carl Sagan in 1985, and I posted this recently, who says things that were pretty shocking, but that all came true. Do you want to ask, his kids for an apology? You're ridiculous. The connection from reality that you think you have as politicians. Now, we just came back from COP26, right? Where there's 2 weeks of hard evidence where their goal, politicians, was to prove to the rest of the world that they're ready to connect with reality now, and that they care about their own kids and grandkids, and they failed miserably. So if that's not proof enough that I and David Suzuki wish we belonged to a species that could resolve things without violence, no offense, but that's all you seem to be able to know how to do. The people that get away with stuff and profit from it because the good people don't stand up until it's too late, and then things go nuts, and then you blame the people that are interfering too late as the bad guys. I'm not pro blowing up anything, especially if it's related to, damage to the environment and as a result of it. So, but again, yeah, we can do it with diplomatic means. No, you can't. You've got decades of proving you can't. And David Suzuki saying this is responsible. He's preparing people for it. This is going to happen. There are people that are going to go to jail. There are people that don't get paid to advocate for your kids and grandkids and grandchildren. And even the retirement years of you silly politicians, you hypocrites, and who are not only not getting paid, but they're going to go to jail to do it. So blowing up something, if they go to jail, makes them, for me, a loser. But the thing is there's no win scenario. But they're a loser who did something that in the long term, especially for the biosphere, the greater concept that we should be pursuing as a worldview, which is what I've been trying to train you guys about, if you want to survive, is a win in a way. While the losers who just say we want to fix it without violence and don't do anything or don't succeed, now they're the losers who didn't amount to anything. Although they'll have, they won't be in jail, they'll have great retirement plans, and they'll mingle with the special interests, that provide them whatever they want, that were there at COP26. So you failed. He's just saying, because you'll continue to fail, David Suzuki's pretty much saying, people who care more than you about your own kids will have no choice but to go to extremes. And it's not like they want to. It's because there's no choice, right and wrong, in a society that the politicians that ask for the apologies help create these scenarios, and they won't take ownership of it. So shame on you, man, for asking an apology. I'm not sure if it came. It might have, been somewhat from his foundation, which a lot of people disconnect with. Jane Goodall disconnected from it, and some of them get disconnected by murder. Like I'm talking about, the lady who was defending the gorillas. I can't remember her name right now. And Jane Goodall and the other one with orangutans didn't really pressure her to find her murderer, because, you know, it doesn't raise funds to save the animals. So you don't see that the hypocrisy that you create are losing scenarios. You don't see this. You don't see this. David Attenborough doesn't see this. Johan from Norway doesn't see that his hypocrisy is actually because he's got so much of a powerful voice in this very critical time, makes him worse than Hitler. Now, do you guys want an apology for that? No, because Hitler, in a way, and I'm not saying anything good about Hitler, but I'm just saying how his presence influenced the world in a negative way. Now, what he did actually, in the long term, resulted in, let's say, countries making more armies and putting more money into that instead of, let's say, science or understanding how we're connected to the natural world and everything interacts in certain ways. We didn't focus on that. We focused on weapons of mass destruction. So that's bad, you know, after effect of Hitler. But Johan, the things he's saying that are also too little too late, like David Attenborough, will have an impact on the entire biosphere at a critical time, like this year. It's not like 2030, then we'll go all the way. No, it'll be too late in 2030. I see so many scientists who present the science, and then who accept and shake hands, and they don't act upset, they don't act angry, and that's not a scientist I can respect. I can't respect somebody who blows up something, but if somebody that blows up something documented all the efforts they make, the groups they support and work with have made for the diplomatic solutions, and it didn't happen, well, no offense, but if somebody blows up something after proving everything they've done that was diplomatic and how it was blocked by politicians, put your politicians in jail.